Hi there, I'm Dr. Peshkin from Iron Chiro, again here with Josh from Life Itself. We're talking about Chaga today. Today we're going to be focusing a lot on energy, endurance boosting, as well as muscle recovery, physical performance, a lot that I deal with here in the chiropractic office. We talked about this in the past, a little bit about energy levels, and we talked about how Chaga can also enhance your energy levels without caffeine. I take it with coffee. Sometimes I don't take it with coffee, but how does that work? Like, what's actually happening there?
Yeah, so Chaga itself doesn't have any caffeine in it. Goes really great in coffee if you're already a coffee drinker. You know that, right?
Got it.
But it also has something called caffeic acid. Have you ever heard of caffeic acid?
No.
So it's like caffeine. It's a very similar molecule to caffeine, except its half-life is way shorter. It's about 10 minutes. So whereas coffee or caffeine can take anywhere up to 8 hours to break down in your system. That's why if you have your 2 p.m. cup of coffee, you might actually be up late at night.
Sure,
right?
yep.
So
Guilty.
Chaga, yep, me too. So Chaga can help to boost your energy, but the caffeine, since it's not in here, it's caffeic acid instead, gives you that little boost, but you're not overstimulated. So that's one of the mechanisms. Another is that it gently thins your blood. And if you have a little bit of a thinner blood, that means your blood is going to travel faster and you're going to want to move more. You're going to, and your blood can pump more. And the third, and maybe there's a fourth, I'll say, the third is the mitochondrial activation, which is, as you know, the powerhouse of the cell, where all energy is produced for your whole body.
Exactly.
Right? And so you were telling me a little bit about how mitochondria gets its energy production. What is that called?
Yeah, so it's through the Krebs cycle. I like to explain the Krebs cycle as a clock, okay? Because right now, most of our energy drinks are full of different vitamins that actually affect the Krebs cycle. Think of it as a clock, right? You have an old clock, not a digital clock. They even have old clocks anymore, but you have the hour hand, right? Every hour, your body needs a different vitamin or mineral to kind of move it to the next level. Predominantly, a lot of it are B vitamins, and it's going to be B1, B2, B3, B5, B7, and so on and so forth. All the B vitamins have a big role. That's why a lot of these energy drinks, when you flip them over, not only does it have caffeine, but it has tons of B vitamins. So that way, every time another vitamin comes in there, it takes the hand all the way around. Obviously, it's a lot faster than an hour. It's flipping through. When it goes all the way around, it pops out 1 ATP, and that is the energy of our body. So me doing this right now, I'm burning ATP right now in my arm muscle, my bicep. If my heart's beating, it's burning ATP every heartbeat. So it's really important that we have this. That's the energy, that's the gasoline of our body. Sure, water is really important, but really on a cellular level, ATP is really important. So Chaga has an effect on that system as well, correct?
That's right, and that's so interesting. I didn't know that about how it can fork off and create more. That's very fascinating. Yes, Chaga is known to support the production of healthy mitochondria to basically feed them all the nutrients they need to continue to produce ATP faster, more efficiently, so that you
The clock hours clicking faster.
Exactly, so that you can be more available to do physical activity or even mental activity. There's mitochondria all over your body, which kind of leads me into the mitochondria of the brain, which helps us with our cognitive thinking abilities as we strain to think throughout our day. You've had mental fatigue, I'm sure, as everybody does, right?
I have 3 kids, of course.
Yeah, a constant state of mental fatigue. And so what it can do is also repair and promote the production of ATP in the mitochondria of the brain. And that is another reason why you can fight brain fog and keep your mental acuity even after a full-on day of focused work.
Awesome. Now, one thing also is, you mentioned you're a power lifter, right? And we talked a little bit earlier about thinning the blood to kind of get it through the system a lot faster. How does this help with people who are endurance runner, marathon runners, or if they're recovering from a marathon? How is this working?
Yeah, so in a very similar way. As the energy production increases and the gentle thinning of the blood, it almost allows you as an endurance runner, have you ever hit that flow state? And where you're just, maybe after 10 or 15 minutes, you're kind of you're all warmed up. It feels like all your systems are firing and you're just in the zone, right?
Yes, yep.
It cuts the amount of time down that you get into that zone. Because what's happening as you get into that zone is all the system of your body are firing on cylinders. Your blood's warmed up. It's thinned a little bit, so it's almost like the oil of your body is ready to be circulated. Now, if you cut the amount of time that it takes in order for you to have a well-running machine, well, you're right in flow state off of the bat.
Yeah, I know it's a lot. I don't run marathons. I'm a terrible runner. I think I'm just bad at running. It's just not my thing. I love people who run. I think it's great they do it, but they've always said that like after a certain amount of miles, they're kind of like an autopilot. Is that kind of like what you're talking about?
Exactly right.
Cool.
Exactly right. Yep.
Excellent. So one of the other things we talked about a little bit is you mentioned brain health, right? You mentioned brain health. How is it beneficial for people who have neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's?
Yeah, there are a number of different factors that can help both people with Alzheimer's or Parkinson's. Generally, the anti-inflammation effect is going to make it a lot easier for somebody to think clearly. That goes for everybody, not just somebody with Alzheimer's. But when you don't have inflammation on the brain, then the brain fog goes away. On top of that, probably more specifically, I'd say there's an effect on NGF, nerve growth factor. So chaga helps to regrow nerve cells. Previously thought would take 100 years to regrow a damaged nerve cell. And now with these medicinal mushrooms like chaga, it's shortening that time period where we can regrow our capacity to think again. So as people used to think that they were doomed if they had Alzheimer's or Parkinson's, they actually can recover now in this lifetime.
That's really interesting. You know, it's like you're creating new neural pathways, right?
Yeah.
So if things are not functioning one pathway, your brain can create another one.
Yes.
That's really interesting. Now, in terms of recovering from workouts, we talked about inflammation and some soreness after intense exercise. Let's bring it back a little bit. I know we mentioned about it earlier. I think it's worth harping on again because we do physical work in our job here with adjusting people, massage, deep tissue massage, shockwave. How does chaga help with the recovery phase of that? I tell my patients why I give the chaga to them afterwards, but like, why would you tell one of my patients to take the chaga after a treatment?
Well, it's just like an injury, right? So when we work out, it's kind of like micro injuries where we are breaking down our muscle tissue and it needs to be repaired again. But when we get really sore, that really sore feeling, we can benefit from a little anti-inflammatory help to help our recovery of our muscles. And that's the exogenous help that we can get from something like a turmeric or a chaga. So we take chaga to help heal our muscles through the anti-inflammatory action.
Awesome. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, listen, our patients take it, they like it. I take it, you know, in fact, I think I probably take the most in our office. I purposely don't bring my water. I just usually drink that, but I'm probably drinking too much. What's too much?
You would know if you were drinking too much.
Okay.
Yeah, the effect of drinking too much just makes you feel like you're floating on a cloud a little bit.
Maybe I'm not drinking enough then. I mean, maybe I should bump it up a little bit. I mean, why does that sound bad?
Now, I've drank a whole bottle of this before just to see what would happen, right?
Yeah.
And I just felt a little lightheaded and a little silly and funny, and then I got really hungry because it lowers the blood sugar.
Okay.
So I would eat a snack and then I had to take a nap. And then so like
like a kid.
Yeah, like a kid. So everything in the appropriate dose, right? I don't think that you want that to be your whole day, right?
Sure. So I mean, we're joking a little bit about how this feels like maybe like a little drunk. How about for those who are like recovering from alcoholism? Are someone's trying to maybe substitute, or someone has a liver issue and they're trying to recover from it? Maybe medication overuse, maybe an opioid issue that they're trying to clean their body from. How is chaga? Is it detoxifying? Is it safe to do that?
Yeah, absolutely. So chaga is extremely detoxifying. It activates these detoxifying pathways in the body that will grab hold of any cellular debris that's caused from maybe over drinking or too much medication that takes a lot of time to process in the liver, creates a lot of wreckage. So the chaga will come in almost like a street sweeper and sweep all that up, put it into the liver, and then sweep it out of the body as well.
Nice. So it's also good for hangovers.
Yes. Oh, totally. Okay. Definitely.
Okay. And if you're a Buffalo Bills fan, that's going to be Monday morning for you guys.
That's right.
Yeah. Especially in this area. Okay, good. So our next segment, we're going to be talking about skincare, and then we're going to get back into usage and best practices of Chaga and kind of wrap up our series with the next video.